Okay, good morning everyone. Good morning, Jai Hind, and I welcome you all to this editorial session. So I hope all of you are doing well. I hope that all of you are doing well and you have been attending the sessions, you have been writing the answers also. I have got a number of questions last day, which was with respect to this part. Okay, many of you are not able to begin that answer writing part. Many of you are not able to start that portion, starting the answer writing. It is becoming a hurdle for some of you. So in today's session, what we are going to talk about, we will first talk about our topic, that is one nation, one election. That will be our first topic. Second topic will be India, Australia and uranium. That will be our second topic. And the third topic will be about this part only, that many of you who are still struggling to start the answer writing, we are going to talk about it, how you can start it. Okay. So this is one of the things which we are going to talk about. Let us first start with this one topic, one nation, one election. We are going to start with this one topic, one nation, one election. We are going to discuss this one idea, that what is the entire proposal, and at the same time many of you are also thinking about it, that how we are going to make the notes, so we will try to understand all of this in today's session. Now see, we have a topic, one nation, one election. Okay, suppose this one topic is there. If we are making the notes of it, the first thing is we have to see what is the context. What is the context here? The context is simple. We have the 129th Amendment Bill. 129th Amendment Bill. We have this 129th Amendment Bill. This one aims, what is the aim here? Aim is to synchronize. Aim is to synchronize union and state elections. The aim is to synchronize the union and state election. That is the aim here under this 129th Amendment Bill. Then what we see that for this purpose there is going to be amendment to Article 83 and Article 172. There is going to be amendment. There is going to be amendment of Article 83. Article 83 and 172 and 172. There is going to be amendment of Article 183 and 172, and at the same time there is also going to be insertion of a new article. There is going to be insertion of new article. Insertion of new article, that is 82A. So these have been the proposals. These have been the proposals that we are going to have this 129th Amendment Act, and through this 129th Amendment Act we are going to synchronize the state and union legislature elections, the Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha elections. And for this purpose there is going to be amendment to the constitutional Article 83, Article 172, and a new article will also be inserted, that will be Article 82A. Okay, so this is the context here. Now, why this is being done? What is the idea? Why the government has proposed this? Okay, why it has been proposed? Why it has been proposed? Why it has been proposed? Let us try to see this part. Okay, the government is saying that it is going to reduce the election expenditure. This is going to reduce election expenditure. This is going to reduce the election expenditure. Okay. At the same time, there will be lesser disruption of developmental work. Lesser disruption of developmental work due to enforcement of due to enforcement of model code of conduct. You may be aware about this, that when we are talking about our country, we are having elections from time to time. And when there is an election, there is an enforcement of model code of conduct. And during the model code of conduct, which is announced by the Election Commission of India, when the elections are announced, then model code of conduct is automatically applicable. So during the time of MCC, during this model code of conduct, no such new developmental work can be started. No new projects can be announced, no new schemes can be announced. So we have a model code of conduct which has been said as this is something which is hampering development. People say that it is hampering development. Now at the same time, what we see, the administrative efficiency will be better. Government says that it will have better administrative efficiency, that there is going to be higher administrative efficiency, and at the same time there will also be higher economic growth. Higher economic growth. That there is going to be higher economic growth also. So this is why the government is saying that we should have this one thing called as simultaneous election. So when we talk about the context is this one part, that we are going to have this amendment. We are going to have this amendment, and why the government has proposed this, why the government has started this, for these reasons. But there are some other factors also. There are certain other factors also which are stated there. Okay, what is other factors? What are those other factors? Let us try to see them. There are some other factors also. Okay. There are certain other factors also which we see, which has been stated, that why the government should go for one nation, one election. We see that many a times voters are also frustrated with too many frequent elections. Okay, so many a times it is said that voters are frustrated by too many frequent elections. Too many frequent elections. We also see that it is especially challenging. It is especially challenging for migrant voters. It is especially challenging for the migrant voters. They cannot come to vote in the elections from time to time. If suppose there is election at one point of time, they can easily come to their home, they can come back to their home and they can cast their vote. But suppose if every year there is an election, so for that period of time, if they have to travel, it becomes a challenging part. And we see that there are so many people in India who have domestic migration. They have moved from one state to another state, but still they are voter in their native state. So we see that there is this one challenge. That is of the frustration with the voters. So these are one of the part which we see. Plus, we see that engagement of security forces. Engagement of security forces. Engagement of security forces in election period. In election period. That there is also engagement of the security forces in the election period. So while they should be working somewhere else, they should be working towards other factors, towards other regions, they are spending the time in where? Elections. So that is also one part. Then we again see that there is also an allegation. That many of the political parties are using black money during the election. So there is rise of black or parallel economy, rising uses of, there is increased in circulation, increase in circulation of black money, and this is something which causes inflation issues. This is something which causes inflation issues. Many a times it has been seen that after the elections there is an increase in the prices of the goods. There is an increase in prices of goods. Okay. So one nation, one election, why the government has proposed it, and plus there are some other factors that why we should go for this one nation, one election. But on the other side, there are certain challenges for it. On the other side, what we see that when we are talking about one nation, one election, there are certain challenges. What we see that in this case, we are having some of the challenges. Now, what are those challenges? Let us try to see them. When we are talking about the one nation, one election, there is a major part which is overstated. Okay. It is being said that election expenditure, this is something which is overstated. Right now, what we see that it accounts for 0.1% of GDP. The election expenditure in India accounts for 0.1% of GDP. So while we are saying that there is too much election expenditure, how much is the actual election expenditure? The actual election expenditure is 0.1%. Okay. Then what we see that there is the second part which we see that there is a massive spending by the political parties. So political parties are spending money. It is not the government of India which is spending money. Government of India spends 0.1% of GDP on elections. So we are not spending, like the government or the public money is not being used on election that much. Many a times this is the core argument, but it is not so much true. That is one side of a story. Now, second thing is when we are talking about the logistical issues. When we are talking about the logistical issues, what we see in 2024, the Election Commission of India, it was not able to conduct elections in multiple states during Lok Sabha elections. Including Jammu and Kashmir. We have seen that in 2024, when the elections were going on, at that point of time, the Election Commission of India was not able to conduct the elections in Jammu and Kashmir and some other states. Why? Lack of capacity. We have seen there was one simple reason, that is lack of capacity. We didn't have enough capacity. In order to do this. So there is logistical issues which are there. So in order to have a simultaneous election, suppose that when we are having a union election and at that point of time we are not able to conduct elections in Jammu and Kashmir and other states, then how are we going to do it throughout the country? That remains one of the challenging aspect. Now at the same time, what we also see that when we are talking about the challenges, there are certain other challenges, and that is when we are talking about, there is one thing called as the constitutional concern. There is a constitutional concern. The original constitution talks about a tenure of 5 years. It talks about a tenure of 5 years. But what we see that in proposed amendment, in the proposed amendment, if there is re-election, if there is re-election in any state, then the new house will have a tenure of remainder period. They are going to have a tenure of remainder period. Let me explain it to you. Suppose example that we have got simultaneous or one nation one election in 2029, just for example. Okay, so all the states have gone for election, all the different states have gone for election, and suppose in 2031 there is this fall of government. Okay, let's say fall of government in Bihar. So then there will be re-election. There will be re-election in 2031. But this house will have a period. The new assembly, it will have a tenure of just 3 years. So since the next election is due in 2034, so now even if a government has been created here, they will have a tenure of just 3 years. And you are aware about this another part, that we have so many coalition government in various parts of the country. So we see that at present, there is another concern, that is at present we have got multiple coalition government. We have got this multiple coalition government. We have got this multiple coalition government. So how this is going to work? In that manner, this is something which is going to be challenging. This is going to become challenging for many of the states. They are going to have an assembly of 1 year tenure, 2 year tenure, 3 year tenure. So how it is going to work then? It cannot be having a life of just 2 years, 3 years. In many states, there can be elections in a regular manner. Okay. So what we see that this is another challenge. Then at the same time, when we are talking about one nation, one election, there is a democratic challenge also. Democratic challenge. One of the democratic challenges, this is going to have benefit for national parties, for national or larger parties. They are going to have more fund, they are going to have more workers, so they can contest election, they can do everything. So it is going to be beneficial for the larger parties, for the national parties. But for regional parties, it can become a challenging part. They will not be having that much money, they will not be having that much fund in order to contest both elections at the same time. They are not going to have that much resources. So this is going to benefit the national parties or the larger parties. Second thing is the local issues. The local issues may get dominated by national issues, by the national issues. So the local issues may get dominated by the national issues, which can again become one of the challenging aspect. Then the third part, the voters. Elections ensures the accountability of the leaders. Okay, so elections ensures accountability. So if we are having one election in 5 years, one election in 5 years, this is something which is going to, like, citizens getting lower attention. Citizens are getting lower attention. For example, look at what's going on in Delhi right now, or what's going on in Manipur right now, or what's going in Madhya Pradesh right now. In Madhya Pradesh, we are having protests by tribal people, but the government has not been listening to them for a long period of time. At Jantar Mantar in Delhi also, there is an ongoing protest, but there has been no discussions, no deliberations on that issue. In the same manner, the Manipur is continuously on the boil, it's continuously burning from the last 2-3 years, and still there has been no such response which can like address the issue. So what we see, that if the elections are not there, if the elections doesn't matter for government, if the election doesn't matter for political parties, then the citizens may get ignored. There may be more and more ignorance of the citizens' demand. So elections ensures the accountability of the political parties. Elections ensure the accountability of the government. So when we are having lesser number of elections, there will be lesser accountability of the government, because otherwise across the world, the governments have a lesser tendency to listen to the people in normal days. If it was an election period, government would have listened at the first time itself. So what we see, that elections ensures the accountability. Elections are ensuring the accountability. So what is the way forward here then? In that case, what can be the way forward? What can be the way forward? In this scenario, what can be the way forward? When we are looking at this, the first thing which we should be looking at, addressing the root cause. Addressing the root cause. Expenses. The expenses, we need transparency in that. Transparency. We need limitation. Okay. And a strict enforcement. A strict enforcement. That one of the major challenge which has been highlighted, is that we are having huge economic expenses. So rather than having that huge economic expenses, we can try to have limits on that. Why are the political parties spending so much? Why are the political parties spending so much on the elections? Do they don't trust their work? If they have worked across the 5 years, if they have worked for 5 years, so don't they think that the people will vote for them naturally? If they are working for 5 years continuously, if they are having a continuous work and they have been working in the right manner, so why don't they think that the people are going to support them? So if they have been working, they don't need to advertise that much. So that is one of the part. There should be a limitation on it. Then the second part is grouping of elections or clubbing. Clubbing several elections. Clubbing several elections in 1 year into one election. Like suppose in the month of January we are having elections in UP, in the month of March we are having elections in Tamil Nadu, then in the month of October we are having elections in Maharashtra, in the December we are having elections in Jammu and Kashmir. So rather than that, we can decide that there will be elections in the month of June for all of them. There can be election in the month of June for all of them. So what we see that we can club the elections together, rather than having one elections in 5 years. Okay, so we can go for clubbing several elections. It will reduce the time of model code of conduct. It will enhance, this is something which is enhancing administrative efficiency. This is going to enhance the administrative efficiency. Okay. So this is also going to enhance the administrative efficiency. Okay. So this is one of the part what we need to do. Plus at the same time we need to give more power and autonomy or independence to Election Commission of India for free and fair elections. So we need to have more autonomy and independence for the Election Commission of India, that they can also start this free and fair elections. Okay. So now see at the notes how we have prepared the notes. Look at this one by one. First of all, we have seen that what are the constitutional provisions which we are talking about. Second thing, that why the government is proposing this. The third thing, what are the other factors why it should be done. Then we have seen in detail that what can be the possible challenges because of this one nation, one election. Then we have also seen the next part, that for these challenges, what can be the possible solution. So this is how you have to prepare the notes on a specific topic. This is how we have to prepare the notes on one nation, one election. I hope it's clear now. Okay, how you have to make the notes also. There have been multiple questions about this, that how do we prepare the notes from the editorial. So I think now we got the idea how we can prepare the notes. Now suppose if you are having it in 1 or 1.5 pages, if you get something else in future, अगर आपको जैसे ही फ्यूचर में कुछ एक्स्ट्रा मिलता है, you can add it on there. A basic work, 70 to 80% of your content is ready. If you are getting new editorials, you can just add on the new points. तो जब भी आपको नए editorials मिलेंगे, you can just add on some new points, that will be more than sufficient. I hope this part is clear. Okay. Now we are having the next part of it, the next article, which is related to India and Australia. We are going to talk about the next part, the second one, India, Australia and uranium. We are going to talk about this one part, India, Australia and uranium. Okay. India, Australia and uranium. So now see, in this week also, you are getting a very much important article, like we have this one nation, one election. This is a very much important part of your GS paper 2. So I think that one portion of your notes is prepared now. That one side of your notes is prepared now, one nation, one election. Can you please explain the clubbing point once again? Suppose we are having elections in, let's say, Uttar Pradesh in the month of January. Then in the same year, we are having the elections in Bihar, let's say in April. Then we are having elections in, let us say, Tamil Nadu in the month of September. So rather than having elections 3 different times, we can have an election somewhere near April or May, where all the 3 state elections can be conducted. Now the thing is, if it is being conducted at one point of time, there will be a minimal impact. There will be a minimal impact on the time on which model code of conduct is applicable. So what we see that this will reduce the time of model code of conduct, and there will not be just discussion about the election. Sirf election pe discussion nahi hoga. We have got elections in 1 month or 2 months, and then after we have the entire 10 months to do the development work. If the government is concerned about the development work, if the government is concerned about the economic growth, So rather than having elections of all the states in different month, we can club them together. Okay. So should constitutional reform be prioritized based on administrative efficiency, or should a reform mandated as DPSP such as Uniform Civil Code receive equal attention? There should be equal attention to each and every matter. There should be equal attention to each and every matter. That is true. There is no doubt in that. But yes, from time to time there is certain priorities which needs to be addressed. Okay. Now coming to this one part, India, Australia and uranium. Okay. So what is the issue? Okay. Recently you may have seen that Australia, it has agreed, Australia has agreed to supply uranium for civil nuclear plants of India. For civil nuclear power plants of India. That Australia has agreed for this part. They are ready to give uranium for the civil nuclear power plants of India. Okay. Now see it there. When we talk about Australia, this is having 1/3 of world's known uranium reserve. When we are talking about this one country, what we see that they are having 1/3 of total known reserves of uranium. So they are having 1/3 of total known reserves of uranium. This is one of the very important part. We are having 1/3 of total known reserves of uranium, and we see that it is there in Australia. Okay, this is also having high quality uranium. This is also having high quality uranium. This is also having high quality uranium. This is also having the high quality uranium. Now, this is one part that Australia has agreed. Now, from this part, we have to understand one very crucial angle, that when we are talking about nuclear power plant in India, what is our target? When we talk about the nuclear energy, when we are talking about the nuclear energy, we see that we are having a target. We are having a target, and that is to reach 100 gigawatt of nuclear energy by 2047. We have a target of 100 gigawatt of nuclear energy by 2047. What we also see that when we are talking about this nuclear energy, this can help in achieving target of Paris Treaty, achieving target of Paris Treaty. And what are those targets? We have a target of 60% non-fossil energy by 2035. Okay, we have a 60% non-fossil energy by 2035. We have also net zero emission by 2070. We have a net zero emission by 2070 also. So we have made a target that is achieving, we have to achieve this 60% non-fossil energy by 2035. We have to also get this net zero emission by 2070. Okay. Now, in this context, what India requires? Okay. Like, We see that we have got our own reactors. We need a supply of uranium. So that's why Australia and India deal is quite important. Okay. So this nuclear energy, it facilitates, this is something which facilitates, it is something which facilitates clean energy. It facilitates 24/7 reliable energy. It facilitates 24/7 reliable energy. So when we are talking about the nuclear, we have a target. This can help and this facilitates clean energy also and 24/7 reliable energy. It is something which can like, unlike solar and wind, so solar and wind, they are fluctuating, they have fluctuation according to the time, they have fluctuation according to the season. So they are having fluctuation according to the time and season. But what we see that nuclear is something which can provide a continuous 24/7 reliable energy. Okay, there is one question. I think contribution of nuclear energy is less than 3%. Why? Because we have not been getting uranium. We have not been establishing nuclear power plants. Due to lack of supply of uranium. That is one of the major reasons. Okay. Okay, Gaurav, see, the thing is, as per the mandate, it has to be in English. Now, what we see that there has been certain recent reforms. There has been some recent reforms. Okay. What are those recent reforms? India signed IAEA protocol. Okay. India signed the additional protocol of International Atomic Energy Agency, and this one means India is allowing what? India allows inspection of civil nuclear facilities. India allows the inspection of civil nuclear facilities. Okay. That is one of the part. Then we see that if we are talking especially India and Australia, so India facilitates the tracking of uses of Australian uranium. Okay. So India facilitates tracking of uses of Australian uranium. So Australia will have this option. They will be tracking how their uranium is being utilized by India. Why this is there? See, normally uranium can be used for power generation also. Uranium can be used for the purpose of developing weapons also, nuclear weapons also. So what we see that if we are importing it from some country like Australia, so we tell them that we are not going to use your uranium for the purpose of developing weapons. So now they will have a question, how we will be sure of it? So we are providing them tracking of it, how we are using their uranium, where we are using their uranium, how their uranium is being spent in our civil nuclear facilities, how the nuclear waste is being handled, how the byproducts are being handled. So we are facilitating the tracking of uses. We are facilitating the tracking of uses of uranium by Australia. So that is also something which we have done. Okay, we have separated our civilian and strategic nuclear plants. Okay, there has also been separation. There has also been separation of civil and strategic nuclear plants. So strategic nuclear plants are being utilized for development of weapons. Strategic nuclear plants can be used for the development of nuclear weapons. So we are facilitating this, that we have allowed Australia to track it. We have allowed Australia to track the use of their uranium. At the same time, we are also separating our civil and strategic nuclear power plants. Now, at the same time, we have also got Shanti Act. We have also got this Shanti Act. So, major thing is, it allows private sector, it fixes operator liability, then we see that it allows FDI, okay, and removes supplier liability. It removes the supplier liability. So we see that there is a Shanti Act also. Now this Shanti Act facilitates the entry of the private sector. There is entry of the private sector. So private sector can be operator of a nuclear power plant in India. That is one of the recent reforms. What we also see that this is something which is also fixing the operator's liability, that it will not be infinite. The liability has been fixed as per the size of the nuclear power plant. Then we see that it also allows FDI. It also allows FDI in there. Then at the same time, it is removing the supplier's liability. So this is what is being done by the Shanti Act. This is something which is being done by the Shanti Act. Now, here what we see, plus this Shanti Act also promotes small reactors like BSR or SMR. So this is being something which is being promoted by India. You will find that in the recent times, government has got a number of steps, government has taken a number of steps in order to facilitate, in order to promote the development of nuclear energy in India. And why it is very much significant? See, there is one part, we are getting clean energy, 24/7 reliable energy. At the same time, we are also having lesser dependence on fossil. You will see that we have lesser dependence. We are also having lesser dependence on Strait of Hormuz. This is also something which can provide energy security. This is something which can provide energy security. So see, which type of uranium? Natural uranium. We are getting natural uranium. We are getting natural uranium because we are using pressurized heavy water reactor. We are having maximum pressurized heavy water reactor, and in pressurized heavy water reactor there is uses of natural uranium. That's why we are getting the natural uranium from there. Okay. So see, so now we can see from here that when we are talking about how we are making the notes, okay, how we are making the notes, so you can understand from there. We have seen this one part, what is going on with India and Australia. We have seen nuclear energy, what is our target, how it is going to help. We have seen the benefits, clean energy, reliable energy, lesser dependence on Strait of Hormuz, lesser dependence on fossil energy security. Okay. Then we have seen that what has been the recent reforms. India has signed this. It has been done in 2009 itself. It has been done in 2009 itself. Then we have got this recent part. As per the deal, India is facilitating tracking of uses of Australian uranium. We have also separated our civil and strategic nuclear plants. We have got the Shanti Act also, which is promoting small reactors and also allows all these things. Okay. So this is what we have been doing with respect to nuclear energy in India. Okay. So Australian uranium, Australia is having a rich source of uranium and it can play a very much crucial role in energy security in India. Okay. I hope this part is clear. Sir, if nuclear energy is essential for net zero emission, why has India not reformed the Civil Liability for Nuclear Damage Act more comprehensively to attract global investment? You know what India has done in this case of liability? See, what has been fixed here, when we are talking about the Shanti Act, see, it has removed the supplier liability. So anyone who is coming from outside, who is supplying the technology or who is supplying the uranium, they will not be liable for anything. Only the operator who is there, they are liable for any damage. And even for the operator, there is a fixed amount. There is no such infinite liability. There is a fixed amount. So there is a massive reform in there. Earlier, like any operator, they would have to pay 1500 crore. Now those who are having a plant of 100 megawatt or 150 megawatt, they have to pay only 100 crore rupees compensation. They have to pay a compensation of only 100 crore rupees. So it's not infinite. And that's why many of the countries are now ready to make the deal. Because the main element was this one. The supplier liability. So now the supplier liability is over. But of course, operator liability would be there. Otherwise, what may happen? They may start working abruptly. They may cause multiple accidents. So we cannot, it's good that we need energy, but at the same time, we have to ensure the life of the people also. We cannot sacrifice the life of the people just for getting energy security. Okay. Now, see, on the basis of it, I am giving you two different questions. Just one second. So, I am giving you two different questions on the basis of it. Okay. One nation, one election changes the electoral calendar but doesn't address the fundamental problems of India's electoral system. Discuss. Australian uranium can play a crucial role in India's next phase of nuclear energy expansion. Elaborate. Yeah. So then what happened to the level of purity we need to perform our business? In case of, see, there is two type of uranium. Kumar Shamu. One is natural uranium, one is enriched uranium. So natural uranium is like having 99.3% uranium-238 and 0.7% of uranium-235. Whereas enriched uranium contains significantly higher amount, like 3 to 5% of uranium-235 and the remaining portion as uranium-238. So what we see that we don't use enriched uranium, we use our natural uranium because our power plants are designed for natural uranium. Okay. Then you may ask that why we have gone for such design, because see, when we were developing our nuclear power plant, there was a continuous threat of sanction that if you are using enriched uranium, the same thing may happen which is happening to Iran right now. Iran is using enriched uranium, so that is becoming a challenge for them. We are using natural uranium, so no challenge for us. Because when you are having the capacity of enriching uranium, then in that case you can develop nuclear weapon also. Now, of course, we have the capacity, but we are not doing it. Okay, we have two different facilities. One is civilian, where we use pressurized heavy water reactor. One which is strategically important, that is totally different. Okay. When there is no such liability with the supplier. Supplier is not liable for any damage, for any accident. Okay. Now, coming to this one part, we have to write some answers. And many of you have said this in the last session that you are struggling with the answer writing part, right? So tell me, where is the problem? When we are writing answer, we have a three basic thing. We have to start with we have to write in introduction. What we have to write in introduction? Like suppose we are having this one question. India is undergoing a quiet but significant democratic transformation where youth are becoming central actors in shaping the country's political future. Discuss. Okay. So what we see that in this question, first of all, we have to write the introduction. We are writing the introduction. So now just look at this one topic. We are talking about the political reforms which are going on, especially with respect to youth. So do we have any reference of current events here? Do you know any current thing which is going on with respect to youth? क्या youth के द्वारा कुछ किया जा रहा है? Do we have some ongoing reform or ongoing political protest by the youth of India? क्या भारत का youth कोई political protest कर रहा है? Is there any such political protest going on right now in the nation? Do we have some political protest going on in the nation? So, no idea. How you are having no idea? Are you not watching newspaper these days? Are you not watching the news? So, you are aware about this, that we are having. So, you can mention a current context. You can mention a current context. And while mentioning the current context, you can say this, that at present, there is an ongoing protest with respect to exam paper leaks and various issues of corruption in government. The protest is going in the traditional offline mode, but along with that, a huge part of the protest is going on through social media platforms. क्या हम ऐसा लिख सकते हैं? Right now, protest is going on with respect to exam paper leaks and various issues of corruption in the country. The protest is going on offline as in the traditional mode, but at the same time it has gained a huge attention in India as well as abroad due to social media outreach or due to social media involvement. So we can talk about this. So we are first starting with this part, that we are giving a current context. There is a topic like this, so we are giving a current context of it. That is the first part. Okay. Now see the question. Try to look at the question. The question's keyword is discuss. When we are having a keyword discuss, so what we do? We give subheadings. We explore various dimensions. We give subheadings and then we explain it. So the keyword here is discuss. So in this situation, we are exploring the various dimensions, giving subheadings, and then we are explaining it. So first we have written the introduction. Now look at the question. India is undergoing a quiet but significant democratic transformation. So can we make a subheading that is a quite democratic transformation? Can we make this subheading that there is a quite democratic transformation? Okay. So we are looking at this one part, quite democratic transformation. Okay. Now what we see that we have seen that last day we have discussed about this topic, and we have seen that the youth no longer wants to be a voter, they want to participate. Okay. So here we can give the first heading, voting to participation. Voting to participation. That here we have seen that the youth in the present times are no longer merely a voter, they also seek active participation in the political process. They want active participation in the political process, in the political discourse. So we will write this one subheading, voting to participation, that they are not merely a voters, they also want equal participation in the political discourse, in the political processes. So that is one part. Second thing, we can also mention the second part. We can also mention the second part, that when we are talking about the youth of India, they want continuous dialogue. Okay, continuous dialogue. What we see that the youth want that the leader should be, they want that the leader should be talking to them regularly. There should be a continuous interaction with the leaders. They are no longer seeing the leaders as someone who has been sent by God, or someone who is of such a high position that a normal person cannot talk to them. So they want their leaders to continuously engage with the people in the same manner as other or normal people do. Okay. So they want a continuous engagement, a continuous dialogue, a continuous communication. Okay. We see that there is a third element, that is trust to transparency. Transparency. Okay. So while the youth is still having the trust on the government, while the youth is still having the trust in the state and the constitution, and they want to have transparency in the governance. So they have the trust in the state, they have the trust in the constitution, and they want transparency in the governance. They want transparency in the governance. So trust to transparency. Okay. So last day we have discussed all these points. What you have to do, you have to first give the main subheading. You have to discuss the various parts of it, the various dimensions of it. You can also make a part about the method, that now they're not engaging just on the streets, they're also engaging on social media platforms. So we are giving this one thing, that quite democratic transformation. Under this we are writing the different dimensions of it. Different dimensions of it. Okay. So this is one of the part, that how the youth is interacting. If you want, since you see that this is 150 word, and if you want that there is discuss, so should we also write the limitations? Should we also write the limitations? The question is mainly asking about the positive part, but still if you want to address some of the limitations, after writing 7 to 8 points, what you can do, after reading these 7 to 8 points, what you can do, you can make a flow chart, and that will be about the limitations. Limitations. You can mention that the participation is not equal. The participation is not equal from all the sections of the society. Plus, at the same time, they are having limited knowledge. They are having limited knowledge. You may have seen that many of the people who are going for the protest at Jantar Mantar, when they are being asked question, they are not able to answer. So we see that there is a limited awareness. So limitations also you can highlight. And when you are writing the conclusion over here, in this part, you can talk about this one angle, that youth has been always the future of India. And this transformation, this political transformation and empowerment of youth is going to benefit the country in the future as we progress towards the Amrit Kal or 100 years of independence. Okay, so try to relate it there, that as we are progressing towards 100 years of India's independence, the political awareness, empowerment and understanding of youth is going to benefit the country in long term. Okay, so this is what you have to write here. There is one last question. After witnessing the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and Ukraine, should countries focus more on peace and diplomacy than on expanding nuclear capabilities? See, the thing is, by expanding nuclear capabilities, you can save yourself. But there is one thing which is said, by expanding nuclear capabilities, you can safeguard yourself. But there was a very famous saying, that poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity everywhere. Okay. So what we see that, if there is a conflict anywhere in the world, we cannot stay aloof from it. It is going to spread. So peace and diplomacy is the ultimate solution. Nuclear powers are just for defense, but peace and diplomacy, they are the ultimate weapons. They are the ultimate weapons of global prosperity. Okay. Okay, Anjali, I will forward that message to the team. Okay. So that will all for today. Let's meet then in Monday session now. Tomorrow we have no such class on Saturday. So we will meet again on Monday now. On Saturday, Sunday, there is few editorials also. In fact, on Friday also you will find that no such editorials is there, which is significant for exam. So let's meet then on Monday, and then we will discuss some new topics. So thank you everyone. Take care. All the best.